So this is an important priority for UNICEF. We are working with government partners to extend the school hours, introduce the meal program, and also introduce after-school activities that makes children to improve their critical thinking, problem solving, teamwork, and also more have a childhood that is not homework driven, that is not, curricula driven, but a childhood like you and I had when we were younger.
My daughter, look, I'm very happy with her teacher. I'm very happy with her school. They're wonderful. It's very good. But my problem is she sits for 4, sometimes 5 hours in the class. She has a 10-minute break to eat a sandwich. And then she comes home and has to do another 2-3 hours of homework. And I remember, at school in the UK, you have like a 20-minute break in the morning, an hour for lunch, 20 minutes in the afternoon. There were sports activities during this time that you could take part in and after school. And by having those breaks, you reset yourself and then you can concentrate again, and it just...
That's very important, to create time that is not dictated by homeworks and others. That's time that they can learn to listen music, they can learn to play, they can learn to read a book. I mean, not to touch to digital telephones and other things, but not.
We'll get to that in a minute. The use of phones in school. The government currently is not spending enough money on education, well below the average of 4.6. That's the EU average. I think it's around 2.7, 3.1% of the GDP. Have you had any tough conversations with the government? Why is it so low? Why are you not investing more?
I mean, the first thing is to recognize that it is a problem. And I think I'm seeing it, the recent PISA results show, and everyone is aware that the education quality needs to be improved. The school safety and children's safety needs to be improved. So there is an immense recognition of, improvement needs. And improvement can be done when you prioritize and spend money also. And also it's important to see what neighboring countries are doing in their investment to the education. So I would love to see Albania going beyond European average of 5% of GDP spent to education. But this is something that we need to collectively work, and we need to get to a stage. Even, my dream is 10% of GDP spent on education. You want children to stay in the country. You want them to fulfill their potential. It's great to see 12 million people visiting the country as tourists, and they can come. The diaspora can come back and work in the country. But the first thing everyone is asking, what is the schooling system available for their kids?
I think it's better than it was. I would not have sent my daughter to a state school 5 years ago, for example. It wouldn't have crossed my mind. Now I think it's better. Of course, there's a lot of work still to be done. There is in the UK as well. They say here, but the class sizes are so big. And I'm like, the size of my daughter's class is the same as mine was in primary school in the UK as well.
It's beautiful to interact with different strata of the community in a public school. I mean, your child is connecting with, everyone in the neighborhood. So
this was a reason.
And also not commuting with bus, 2 hours to go and 2 hours to come.
This was one of the things I liked. I wanted her to get to know people in the area and to be around normal kids, not just, the private schools are extremely expensive here anyway, beyond what I can. But I wanted that normal sort of, and my thinking was, okay, whatever money I might have spent on private school, I can afford to keep, to save, to go on trips together, to spend on her activities, piano lessons and rock climbing and all the things she does, because for me, these things are just as important as maths.
One of the things that we want to have and we are promoting is how do you get parents to stay connected with the school? And the parent-teacher associations are very important. So, making it lively, visiting the school, being part of the solution. I see my colleagues even visiting their own kids' school and then telling what UNICEF does, bringing their skills and being part of the journey and learning journey. And I think this is the shift that the learning system needs to go, that it's a lifelong learning. It's not only for the kids, but it's also for the parents. Parents can learn digital schools through schools. How do you introduce different filters for your home, for your child's telephone, for your own, protection of the family? So this is something lifelong learning we need to promote. We need to invest in the better parenting programs that I was mentioning.
Yeah, these are really important. I went to my daughter's school before Christmas to read a book about bullying. And the teachers were like, oh, this is great. They said, a lot of the problem comes from the parents, because the way the parents don't understand what bullying is, or the way the parents might speak about someone, you know, the kids pick up on it, and then they don't want to deal with their kid being problematic or accept that maybe their kid has been nasty, or they'll teach them if someone's mean to you, you hit them, you know. And I think, these sort of parenting programs, I'd love to go on one, because no one's a perfect parent.